At this big age, the one thing that I found out is that what works for you and works for you only. You can give a book, you can give a speech, you could write you could write a movie, you could be an elderly person giving on the wisdom to the young. You can do all of that, but at the end of the day, no matter what you pick in life, from your job to your relationship, how you get it, how you keep it, all depends on you. All depends on you. What you like, what you want, how you want it, blase blase blah. At the end of the day, you have to set the standard. You have to understand what you want. You have to understand what you need. You have to understand what you're willing to give. You have to understand where you're willing to go and how far you're willing to go for it. The people that match that energy will find you. They will find you. The people that match that energy, stick with that energy, want that energy, they will find you. The problem is that we are never honest with ourselves. And when I say honest with ourselves, I mean 100%. We don't do the work before we decide to get these things. And these things come into our life when we're ill prepared. Or some things come into our life and we just accept it. So no. At the end of the day, you can go ask the advice, you can do the research, you could talk to the elderly, but it doesn't matter if you're not ready. It doesn't matter if you're not ready, if you're not willing, if you don't want it. If it's not for you, it's not for you. And that's a problem that a lot of us do, especially women. For some odd reason, we don't take the time to figure all that shit out before we decide to jump into things. And I'm not talking about like you see a window of opportunity, you jump through it. I'm not talking about those type of things. Because usually if there's an opportunity, you just, break the wall and you make it. No matter what, you make the opportunity. But the opportunity has to be within yourself first. You have to be vulnerable with yourself. You have to do the shadow work. You have to do the therapy. You have to admit to yourself the hard truths. You have to cry. You have to scream, yell, shout, whatever. And I'm not saying everybody has to do that, because some of y'all just got it. Some of y'all just got it from the jump. Some of y'all just know what y'all want from the very beginning. Some of y'all just have it. Y'all been cultivating yourself since childhood. People been cultivating you since childhood, and then you found your personality young. You had the confidence, the assertiveness, all of the grace, all of that. Some of you just have that, and the rest of us don't. Okay, and we spend years just bumping our head against the wall because we've never sat down with ourselves long enough to figure it out. The wants, the needs, the desires, the will, the grace, all of it. We never give it to ourselves. So then when it comes down to other things and other people, and we just accept whatever, that's what we get. Whatever. And then you wonder, how come it doesn't work? How come it never lasts? Well, that's the reason. You didn't figure out yourself. You figured out yourself through another person. Which I'm not saying is completely wrong, because, people and experiences comes with lessons and whatnot. But give yourself some time to figure out yourself. What you're absolutely sure you can't be down with. What you're absolutely sure you don't want to do. Respect. Energy transfer. Figure all that out. This is why I tell people to go travel, make that money, get that therapy. Do all of that before, you just jump cold water into whatever. Because then you sitting up there and you start questioning yourself, like, why is this happening to me? How come this keep happening to me? I thought I did blah, blah, blah. Like, no. It's not about what you wear. It's not about how you look. It's not about, how you speak or how you walk. It's really all about what you're willing to do. Okay? How much of you are you willing to shed? How much of you are you willing to share? How much of you are you willing to give? And before you do all of that, you need to do it for yourself. Know yourself, like inside and out. You know how some people be like, oh, that's my best friend. They know me inside and out. That's like, they know me like the other side of my hand. I know him like he's the other side of my hand. I know her like she's the other side of my pillow. Do you know yourself? Do you know yourself? And a lot of people don't reach that self until like late 30s, 40s, mid 30s, something like that. I'm talking to the people who are like teens, 20s. You need to figure out yourself before you figure out anybody else. You need to figure out yourself before you jump into a business opportunity that you didn't study for, that you didn't look up, that you didn't do any of the steps for. You have to do the steps. As much as we don't like to, we have to do the steps. You can't just jump on a plane and disappear and then think everything's going to be cool if you didn't do anything on that vacation but drink. You can't just change your hair a million times and think everything is going to be cool if you didn't condition the roots, wash the scalp, and actually, make a difference, make a change, figure out the texture, figure out the pattern, figure out, what conditioner and shampoo goes with that, what you like, what you want, what you need, what you desire, what you're thirsty for, what you're willing to do, you got to figure all that out. Once you figure all that out, you might hit a lot of no's, you might hit a lot of stops, you might hit a lot of walls, you might hit but it won't hurt as much. It won't hurt as much because you set the standard, you set the boundary, you set the rules, you set the respect, you didn't give in. And now you're with the person that you want to be with. Now you're with the family you want to be around. Now you're in the job that you wanted, or the career that you wanted, or the, business that you started. Now you're happy, content even. Now you are just, you met your process, you met your, your goals, you met all of the things, and now you're stepping into the purpose that you're supposed to be stepping in. Now you feel like you've met the purpose that you always wanted to meet. Now you feel closer to God. Now you feel closer to your ancestors. Now you feel like you could die tomorrow and say, I had a good life. Okay? There's people that live and die early and late in the game, and they feel like they didn't do anything that they wanted to do. They missed out on all the opportunities. They feel sad. They feel sucky. They have terrible relationships with their family, their friends, because they're always, depressed. They always have anxiety, this, and the third. And it's because they didn't do the work. They didn't do the work. And they continue to move forward, running into different rooms, into different walls, into different doors, hoping and praying that it will stick and that it will work and they will find value and truth and process, and looking for that validations from other people and other things, and it don't work. And it don't work. They just bury themselves inside themselves, and then they get older and they look back at their lives and they're like, what the heck did I do? And you can't get those years back. You can't get those years back. I'm telling you right now, you can't get any of the years back. There's no time machine. There's a bunch of regret, but there's no time machine. There's no way to redo it, undo it. There's none of it. So this is the warning. This is the message. This is, the messenger. This is the person, the place, the time, the frame. This is what you were looking for. Okay? This is a sign. This is the sign to do all the things that I just told you to do. You wanted a sign from God. You wanted a sign from the angels. You wanted a sign from your guardian. What you should be doing. This is it. Self-work. Self-help. Self-love. And somebody can call you selfish all they want. But at the end of the day, this is your life. You die alone. You take nothing with you. And you leave everything behind. And everything behind has a life of its own. And what you did in that life matters to them as well. So the best thing that you can do is be the best version of yourself, unapologetically, and make that ish happen. Make this world work for you. Make this life something special. Make this life something that you are proud of before you croak. Okay? Make every day a stepping stone. Make every day something that you're okay with. And that's the only mindset that you really need. You can't worry about everyone else and what they're doing and where they're going and how they got there. You can't worry about anything else but yourself. And I know it's scary because it might change your entire outlook of your life when you look into yourself and you figure it out and you talk to yourself and you make friends with yourself and you love yourself and you do all the things that you need to do and you check off all the boxes. You might realize that you hate your life. And this is your warning. This is your sign to change it. Make sure you love your life. You like your life. You're okay with your life decisions. Do the work.